Did you hit record?
I didn't hit record.
Did I accidentally hit record?
Well, if I didn't, then
I must have.
The ghost of Schnozzcast past came in and did it.
Here we go. All right, tell me when.
Go ahead.
Yep.
That is the stuff. See you later.
Then I said, hello, and welcome to episode 91 of Schnozzcast for Sunday, September
What day is it?
September 20th, 2020.
People are going to church right now.
Boys and girls, how is everyone?
Wonderful.
Oh, fantiddlyastic.
All you Schnozdafarians out there still pushing it.
Schnozzronis.
Snozeroni.
Yeah, it's several weeks. I'm relentless. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Back to work, back to school. All your kids are back in class, whether it's from your house, sitting at their desk, or whether they're stuck in a classroom somewhere trying not to catch COVID. Hope everyone's doing well.
Especially those wonderful teachers out there.
Absolutely. God bless the teachers. They work so hard for very little pay or recognition. But we're glad to be here with you, and it is now early Sunday morning. We got our customary slow start, but we're glad to be here.
It's tradition.
We're glad to be here. So
Like
let
molasses in January.
me introduce my chums, my pals, my amigos. To my left, Mr. Nicholas Bader.
Oh, happy fall, everyone.
It's fall?
Oh,
I could not tell.
it is fall. It is every bit of fall. Fall is all up in this fucking place.
Fall up in this bitch.
we wipe our asses with leaves around here.
And wiping his ass with leaves across the table from Mr. Nicholas Bader is Mr. Corey Selesky.
Oh, hey.
Heyo. And to his left, Ms. Gina V.
So much better. I was like, are you going to hack this up again?
You mean Vlad? Blah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Thanks.
It's
I
actually
appreciate
Danish.
Thank you for joining us again, Gina.
it. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Flash of bloom.
Scotch Is it Scotch Romanian?
She's Swedish.
Maybe it's Comanche Indian.
I mean, it's my married name. It's not who I am.
Oh, it's who you are.
Well,
No.
My last name is really Reinchkowski. Gina Reinchkowski.
Stoyanovich.
Yeah.
All right. Stop hitting my goddamn mute.
Why is mine mine used to always be 2?
Well, now it's 1 because you just have to be the best, I guess.
Okay.
Just like it is to save the day, Mr. Nicholas Bader is going to mute us, but he's going to take us home with a little bit of the I Save the Day stuff, which I'm going to give him props for here because we're going to go into housekeeping real quick.
I'm listening.
I know you are. So I'm trying, but the words just won't come out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick Bader, for multiple sets of artwork all week. You put out the artwork for today, which is great, and a lot of attention to detail. I'm going to give you credit here, which really I could see the pain in Corey's face as I do it. But
It's not just his face.
if you follow the Schnozzcast on iTunes or the podcast platform of choice, but you don't follow us on Instagram or Facebook, do yourself a favor and come out and visit our page, because Nick does artwork most every week, and he puts a lot of time into it, and I know I appreciate it. I'm sure I speak for everyone in the room, even reluctantly Corey, in saying that we all appreciate it.
At times.
It does reward careful viewing because he tends to insert the Schnoz name wherever possible, and in some cases, very, very tiny spots peppered throughout the picture.
I can see it before the final draft, but then Facebook downloads the quality, and then you can't see it at all, so it's all in vain.
Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Thanks, Fuckerberg.
I'm sure that's never been.
And that's how our live stream got ended.
Right.
What happened?
And then they were kicked off of Facebook, never even heard from again. But not only that, but that was the second piece of artwork that you did this week. Early in the week, you put out what I thought was a sublime piece of artwork, painting the Schnozzcast as Cheers.
That also took way too much time. When we got home from the bar. That took a long time. Mm-hmm. I literally tried to do, I'm like, okay, putting a sepia tone on a photo doesn't make it a Cheers photo. So
okay,
I literally did a side-by-side from the opening intro pictures from Cheers and realized there was a lot of things that they did to old photos. Like they added reds and oranges, like in the glasses, like in the beer glasses, they'd make the beer, they colorized it in orange. So I found that same color and colorized it. And they kind of gave everyone a robust visage.
Robust?
Rotund.
There you
Rotund
go.
is what
All
I'm
right.
looking for. Rotund.
I knew you were going somewhere.
Wait, red.
Red?
Rosy cheeks?
Rosy cheeked. Sure.
Yeah. So
Moving on.
I'm not satisfied with that, but I'll do it later. So I'll look it up later. But
yep.
so everyone had to have rosy cheeks, and which was weird to me, but I never noticed it before in the opening that they had these rosy cheeks on these old photos.
Yeah.
And then my attempt at the logo, which I didn't realize there were so many lines and everything going through it, and actually the top part of the logo is like white, and I wasn't able to do that with the time I had, and I just said fuck it. But I thought it turned out pretty good.
I did. I was really impressed, and 2 pieces of artwork in a week, worth mentioning. So
Thank you, sir.
But maybe in the old-timey photos, because they were all incredible drunks.
Yeah.
They all just had like red noses, red cheeks.
Did.
The start of, delirium tremens.
Well, I'm pretty sure they were just sepia photos that were colorized, because the rest of the photo was.
Let's not discount the fact that they were doing a lot of drinking back in the 1920s, wherever it was. The Roaring 20s?
Roaring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's just say it was.
Yeah.
And we'll move on.
Where to go on?
All right. So for those of you who are new and just joining us here, please be sure to stream us on the podcast platform of your choice. We are available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify. Now, also this week, Corey,
Ooh, boy.
we're now available on Amazon Music.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Ciao.
So with your Alexa device, you can shut up. Don't listen to me, Alexa. You can call up the Schnozzcast if you can enunciate our name, which is a bit tricky, I will say.
Especially after a couple drinks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Alexa, play the Schnozzcast on us.
I'm sorry. Did you mean Joe Rogan's podcast?
I can't find that.
Alexa, play the Schnozzcast.
You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at Schnozzcast and on Facebook at Schnozzcast1 and on YouTube at Schnozzcast space podcast. And do not forget to send us an email to schnozzcast@gmail.com with all of your existential questions and relationship advice. We're dying. Dying, Jerry.
I honestly think that Bob would be willing to spend a lot of his own money to the first person that
I
actually.
would. I'm thinking about putting out a reward.
The first person that sends an actual email in with a question.
I think people just, no one wants to email people. Email is so kind of.
What?
Emails are just antiquated. I think
Emails are antiquated?
Yeah.
What are people doing now?
Texting.
Texting, DMs.
Yeah.
But you're typing. You're still typing with your fingers.
No,
What's the
I know.
difference?
Let me type in email address and do
It's
this.
so easy to email someone. You could do it right from
I know,
the
but
contact.
you're
You could
the
do it-
age of email. You're the age of voicemail and email, in-person meets.
And pagers and
Yeah. Seriously.
and telegrams.
Fucking Gina.
Seriously. Well, we were just talking about this
Oh my
we were
God.
just talking about this the other day.
Were we?
Different demographics or different age groups.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, but like Angie and Bob are big on leaving voicemails. I never check my voicemail.
I never check it, and it's always full.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why I leave it, because I know you don't check it.
I'm like, delete all.
And I'll be like,
Hey,
hey,
you'd be like, dude, did you listen to my voicemail?
yeah, I'll be like, hey, what's up?
Fucking
I left
text
you.
me.
I
Why are you
left you a
leaving a
voicemail.
voicemail?
And I've told both of them multiple times, I don't listen to voicemail. And one day I'll have to like clean it out, and it'll be like, hey, it's Angie, blah, 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 blah. Hey, man, it's Bob. I just wanted to, and there's like hundreds of them. And I'm like, I don't listen to these ever, so I hope it's not important what you have to say.
See, he's fucking lying right here. Because if that was the case, there's no way I'd be able to leave him a voicemail because the mailbox would be full.
No, I just hate the mailbox full icon.
No, he
So I
goes in there and he sees
So
what's in there.
I literally
He does.
swear to God to you, God is my witness, have no idea what voicemail you left me.
Well, that's unfortunate because
I
it was
don't know.
very important.
I don't
And
know.
it was very timely
You
as
should've
well.
checked
I'm still
your
waiting on a
email.
response to
Yeah.
that voicemail.
Basically, my voicemail is like this: you have 55 new messages, 7 which are due for automatic deletion. First new message: hey man, it's Bob. Deleted. Second message: hey, it's
you son of a
Angie. Blah, blah,
bitch.
blah. Deleted.
Come on.
Third message: hi honey, it's mom. Deleted.
Come on.
If it's important.
I will tell you what, though, as far as voicemails go,
Yeah.
I do have one from my late Boosh that I came across because she would do the same thing. You know, her,
Yeah.
you know, being older, she would call you, and if you didn't pick up right away, she would leave you a voicemail that
Yeah.
would with no question. And it was a couple weeks before she went into the hospital, and things took a turn. That she called me and left me a voicemail because I was supposed to come over and fix her TV.
Right.
And I came across that one day when I was going through my inbox. I'm like, oh, gotta save this one.
Did you go over and fix her TV
I did.
that day that she left the voicemail?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Oh, dude, for Bush, it was definitely that day.
You listened to her voicemail that day?
I already knew I had to go over there. I didn't listen to the voicemail that
So
day.
do you keep resaving it?
No, it's saved in my voicemail inbox. It'll, as long as I don't delete it, it'll,
Corey, I
it'll
had a
sit
couple
there.
from my dad that I saved as well. Same thing.
I had a couple from my
But I
mom, too.
transferred them
I was going to say
to iTunes.
I would recommend that you guys put it
Yeah, I
on
probably
a
should
different-
do that.
Yeah, you should
an
do that.
external
Absolutely.
source. Yeah.
Yeah, so for all of you out there who've lost a loved one, transfer your old voicemails to iTunes if you can. All right, so let us, if Nick can remember what button it is, and I'm sure he can't, let's move into booze news.
And now it's time for booze news.
Well played, sir. All right, I got a couple of short ones. But I know that Corey and Nick also do, so I'll read one of them right now.
Well,
Fellas, today is a sad day because Chuck E. Cheese is declaring bankruptcy.
That's really too
For like
Oh.
the 67th time.
no.
This one might take though because the story I have is that they want to spend more than $2 million to destroy more than 7 billion with a B prize tickets, winning tickets.
They want to destroy
for
them?
them.
Yes,
What does that mean?
it means that they have these tickets. They have the Chuck E. Cheese logo on them. They're still in business. They haven't closed all their stores yet. They don't want them to fall into the wrong hands. And there's enough tickets. They have 7 billion tickets. They could fill 65 of those giant cargo shipping containers that you see on the ships. The whole boat full with just winning prize tickets from Chuck E. Cheese. So if they fell into the wrong hands, it would cost the company $9 million to pay it out. So they said, we're not even going to take the chance. We're going to pay $2 million to destroy them. And that's
What,
their
what do you mean
plan.
fall into the wrong hands? Why don't they just not distribute the tickets?
Like
Because
who's-
they can't guarantee that wherever they're located, wherever they're stored, that they're not going to be robbed and the ticket's stolen. And then
and everyone
someone
wants
shows up at the local Chuck E. Cheese with 7 billion tickets.
to get one bouncy ball.
Yeah, I mean, what are they?
Say that's about what you need.
You can get
What are they?
pencil erasers. You can get
Yeah,
the
bracelets.
Chinese
the
finger traps.
transformer that yes,
Chinese
exactly.
finger traps. Oh,
Who is going into Chuck E. Cheese and committing a robbery and stealing tickets to come back and get pencil erasers?
dude, I would like nothing more than a lifetime supply.
Clearly, the board
Chinese
of Chuck E.
finger
Cheese
traps.
met.
They're worried
They
about
convened and they said, "Gentlemen, we have a serious issue."
When you just said the board of Chuck E. Cheese, all I imagined was
board
all
of
the
CC.
animatronics meeting in a boardroom.
Gentlemen,
Got the
we have a
banjo.
serious issue. Serious issue.
Oh, this is why the company's going down. They let the animatronics take care of everything.
We have 7 billion tickets.
We need to destroy it.
Yeah. So as a company, they've determined that is priority number 1 in this bankruptcy proceeding.
Yeah, that was a long time coming for Chuck E. Cheese.
So they reached an agreement with Eastern Trading, PFG, and SCE, who are companies I assume that are experts in destroying tickets.
Of course.
For a combined $2.28 million to destroy the tickets.
Why does it cost so much money to destroy tickets?
I don't know, because it'd be a big ass fire, I guess, if you just threw them on a pile and you tossed a match on there.
I mean, why wouldn't you just say, like, hey, so the Michigan Chuck E. Cheese's, we're going to break it up into, like, 5 counties. You're all going to meet. Look at your local areas of places that you can burn, things, and break it down, like, piecemeal it all, instead of, like, we want this company to come in and burn everything.
I don't know what these tickets are made of, but I would imagine local authorities have said,
Can't
no,
burn them.
you're not burning 7 billion tickets in my city. And they keep getting turned down city after city, because otherwise they would just say, like, we will no longer, as of today at 5 p.m., honor any of these tickets, and then just deal with the fallout from people frantically running to the store to cash in.
To the
They're
nearest Chuck E.
saved.
Cheese. Right.
But they've continued. They have said publicly that they will continue to honor all tickets currently in circulation and held by customers. And by saying that, they have to destroy them.
True.
So,
Couldn't they put them in those Iron Mountain bins and have them come pick them up?
do you know how much Iron Mountain costs? They might as well just destroy them. It is not cheap to store your data in Iron Mountain, especially because normally it's data on like some sort of media, and not just 7 billion very tiny pieces of paper.
No, but Iron Mountain does also do actual hard copy
Yeah, shredding.
destruction.
They have big bins, and you drop it in there, and they pick
It's
them up like
all
weekly.
locked up. Yeah.
Apparently, they're a little bit more than 2.28 million to have Iron Mountain do it, because they came to an agreement with these 3 other companies. I mean, I'm assuming that the board of Chuck E. Cheese that convened
The board of
had
cheese.
said that they said, look, this is our best option.
Would it be like
And they went, okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
I really
the
don't
wheel
think
of directors?
That's a real strong board.
Yeah.
I could only imagine some of the people in that room. But to go off that story,
Yeah.
you know that Chuck E. Cheese was also on Grubhub for a while.
I did not know that.
Under a different name. weren't
They changed their name from Chuck E. Cheese.
Let me guess. Charles E. Cheese.
Nope. I'll give you this much of a hint.
Chaz.
It was one of the members of the band. His name.
Oh, we've been through this before, and I think we had to look it up. Did anybody remember the band names? Band members' names?
No.
Pasquale's Pizza and Wings.
Really?
Yes. So
Good for them.
I think that was maybe their Grubhub aspect is not going under, and they'll still be doing pizza delivery.
I mean, maybe, yeah. No more in-house parties, but pizza delivery.
All the pizza you want from Pasquale's.
Was it that good? I really don't recall it being anything worth.
I haven't had Chuck
Lying.
E. Cheese pizza in
Since last week.
22 years.
It wasn't good.
All right, I'm going to save my other story for the end. So, Corey, you want to go ahead?
Oh, sure. So as any avid listener knows, we've been doing a lot of, not a lot of kayaking lately, but more than we've done in the past summers. And
Which was none.
Exactly. So I came across this the other day on Metro Made. The Rouge River is going to be open for kayaking business in 2021.
No thanks.
Yeah, pass. Hard pass.
All the way, you can make your way all the way out to Canton.
Hard pass. I would rather walk with my kayak to Canton.
I'm not going to lie. When I read the story, I was kind of thinking to myself, too. I'm like, kayaking in the Rouge River. No,
I mean, what if you flip?
It's the most polluted body of water this direction west of the eastern seaboard.
Outside of Russia.
Well, yeah, it says they're trying to build a water trail, and they have planned kayak launches all the way from Dearborn's Ford Field Park, Dearborn Hills Golf Course.
I feel like it would eat through the bottom of my kayak.
And there's a lot of places that you can stop and get robbed along the way.
Yeah, they're not calling them launches anymore.
Yeah.
they're calling them convenience stores.
And as a matter of fact, too, apparently it's going to be connected to, you can come out onto the Detroit River.
So wait, so the people from the
Start
suburbs
reading something that's appealing about any of what you're saying.
So wait, hold on. So the people from the suburbs are just going to be delivered to us with lots of money and beer on them. We don't even have to go rob them anymore. They're going to be floating down a river right into our neighborhoods. This is amazing.
Right, it's like a
Sounds awful.
alligator just waiting with his mouth open and thing just floating into it.
There's going to be these bums selling water bottles on the side of the water. Hey man, there's these fools from the subdivisions that are on these stupid boats. $1 for a water bottle over by the side of the river.
Nick, you're not going to believe it. I got a bag of peanuts and a bottle of water for $2.
It's going to be one of those guys playing the Home Depot bucket.
Bum Times Weekly.
Playing the Home Depot bucket on the side of the...
Yeah, so I thought that was quite interesting that they're planning that for the Rouge River because
Keep on planning.
Interesting, but I will pass.
I got Tigers tickets over here. Who wants them?
Nick, you got one?
Yeah. Did you had a second?
I had a second one. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll pull mine up.
All right. So, have you, Corey, just started as a student at the University of Minnesota?
yes.
If your name is Zach, and that's Zach spelled Z-A-C-H, not that shitty Z-A-K bullshit, you have the opportunity to join a supergroup. There's a gentleman who is a freshman at the University of Minnesota who sent an email out. Somehow he got a list of all of the students and faculty and alumni for the University of Minnesota whose name is Zach, Z-A-C-H, and sent it to them, inviting them to join a supergroup of Zachs.
Okay.
The goal is to take over certain areas of the university, whether it be intramurals, other student groups, or small random classes. And he was very specific. No ZAKs, no ZACKs, only ZACHs. If you qualify, I want to hear from you.
Well, that seems unfair.
It did, but in less than a week, he got 79. He got 79 replies.
79 Zatches?
Yeah, Zatches. He sent out more than 700 emails, and so he got a 10% response, which is not bad
I mean,
for anything, really.
thank you, Gina. So I know when you were in your college years, I'm sure you were dying for a group of
Zatches.
Bobs. Yeah.
Oh my God, I would have joined a Bob supergroup in a heartbeat.
Well,
I would have been made their king.
Hey, how you doing there, Bob?
Good, Bob. How about you?
I'm not so bad, Bob. How you doing?
Pretty good, Bob.
Well, if it isn't Bob.
Hey, I'd like to introduce this newest member. Hold on, let me guess. Is it Bob? Yes, it is.
Same ways backwards that it is forwards.
Oh. It's very short, man.
All right, see everyone next week.
Right, that's it. Meeting adjourned.
Guess we don't have to do attendance.
I'm not sure where they're from, New York, but
Right.
meeting adjourned.
A whole list.
Yeah.
Just Bob. Check. Bob. Okay.
Raise your
Gotcha.
hand.
Is Bob here? Yeah, right here. How about Bob?
Look at this Bob over here.
Bob P? How about Bob R? Bob Z? You here?
No initials.
So,
All Bob.
All Bobs.
moving right along, post-Bob
You're
conversation.
assuming I was done with that.
Oh,
You're
God.
done.
I was.
So, good news. Los Angeles residents can now live like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air himself, as Airbnb and Will Smith have announced Monday that the recognizable TV home will be available for rent for $30 a night. The Bad Boys for Life actor shared a picture of himself in front of the Los Angeles iconic estate sharing the news. In the caption for his Instagram picture, he wrote, "Yo! Y'all think we should rent this Fresh Prince house? We're making it happen with the squad at Airbnb."
He had my attention at
Yeah.
yo.
That was my best Will Smith. LA residents and Fresh Prince fans can request to book a wing in the TV home starting September 29th. However, only 5 groups of 2 will have the chance to stay at the Banks family home. Each selected group of 2 has to prove that the party members live together to minimize the risk of COVID-19. Those looking to book a night in the Banks home should note that the house rules follow local COVID-19 guidelines and rules. Airbnb also said that visitors can also rest assured knowing that the king-size bed will be cleaned in protocol in accordance with the CDC rules and regulations. For one night only, guests can venture the leading actor's wing of the iconic house from his bedroom to his bathroom, the elegant dining room. Selected guests can also shoot some hoops at the home's basketball court or take a dive into the swimming pool.
Will Carlton be there?
I don't think so.
Pass.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ran from September 1990 to May 1996 and starred Will Smith.
I mean, if I know a lot of people who watch the show. I don't know if anyone was fanatic enough to rent the house.
I mean, it was a huge thing back in the day, but I didn't know it was only for 6 seasons.
I mean, I think it's when he started his acting career and he just jumped from TV to movies, right?
Yes, he did. And that was Boost News.
All right, I do have one thing for Killer Robot of the Week, but it's not a killer robot. It's more of maybe an uplifting story.
No, you don't. There's no way.
Yeah.
Uplifting robot story?
So you might be the. I'll let you.
What?
And now for Killer Robot of the Week. On the side of a mountain in Spitsbergen, Norway, there's an abandoned coal mine. And inside, you have to go down like 250 meters below the surface of the earth. There is a steel vault run by a company who archives film and data for hundreds of thousands of open source projects from around the world, which I thought was really kind of cool. Speaking of Iron Mountain, so this is very prescient, right? Very relevant. It's run by a for-profit company called Pickle, P-I-Q-L.
Oh. Tickle my pickle.
Watch out for a little pickle matter.
This program they're running is called the Arctic World Archive, and the goal is to preserve the world's digital materials, which includes music, literature, and lines of code, for 500 plus years. So recently, they had their most famous customer was GitHub, who donated their entire trove of code to the archive. It's some 21 terabytes of data posted by millions of people since 2008. So there's a lot of other competing, projects in which, the general rule of thumb is anything you post on the internet is available forever. There's no getting away from it. So kids, if you're looking to post dick pics out there or send them off, just know they're stored somewhere forever.
Forever.
Yeah. So a lot of flurry. delete.
Got some backtracking to do.
Yeah, but groups like the Internet Archive have like a long-standing, project in which like every web page that's out there on the internet is copied and saved. So even sites that existed back in the late 90s that are no longer available now, they're still archived. You can still find them on the internet, the archived version anyway. So the idea was, and the way that they're doing it, which makes them different from the other people, is that the founder of the company invented a way to boil down. They started out with film. They were talking about films and things that were on, actual film. They found a way to boil it down into a magnifiable binary code, so a series of ones and zeros that, when you put it together, it looks like QR codes that you would scan. So, and he stored those codes in a film cartridge called a Pickle box. And
Very fortunate.
And then he realized that he could instead of just film, he could sequence almost any digital product into scannable ones and zeros. And after he sequenced it, it could be preserved in the box. And because of the makeup of the box, it could conceivably be available for hundreds of years.
Would you be storing this in my pickle box? Don't touch my pickle box.
Well, this is in Norway, so I'm not sure if there's any Indian folks.
Yeah, there's no Indian people in Norway.
No.
The whole country.
So the boxes they store the film in are virtually indestructible. They tested them against electromagnetic pulses, extreme nuclear radiation, and negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit, and they've persevered. One Norwegian Industrial Research Institute, why wouldn't you trust them? Estimated that a pickle box could last
You gotta stop saying pickle.
500 years without degrading. And the film itself, which is coated in silver halide crystals and iron oxide, has a purported lifespan of from 500 to 2,000 years.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you think about whether it's the pandemic, whether it's destruction of cities, whether it's wars, all of the things over the last 2,000 years of human history that has been lost to time, and we can't get back again. Now we can recreate those things. Everything from art, pieces of art, to music, to film, to data, or code, like like the Oracle data, the underlying technology behind like an Oracle database server, which helps you to read things that you're storing. You can store the data, and you can store the program and the code to build the way that you read it. So you don't have to worry about. So you don't have the Betamax versus DVD problem.
It's all
backward compatible. Yeah. So most of their clients are museums, governments, or large companies. So among the things they're storing a digitized copy of The Scream by Edvard Munch. They're storing a set of essential documents held by the Vatican Library, including a digital copy of Dante's original manuscript of the Divine Comedy. They're storing duplicates of historical records kept in the National Archives of Mexico, thank God. Ooh. And also the complete run of the German TV show called Galileo. So,
thank God.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Is Galileo there?
Yeah. Rest easy, Nick.
If Galileo's
You're
not
covered.
there,
I see a little silhouette of a man.
Okay. It's not the only long-term storage project to enter the public consciousness. As I mentioned, there's a thing called the Long Now Foundation, which is currently building a $42 million clock in a Texas mountain that will keep time for 10,000 years.
Wow.
So when the Earth is decimated by nuclear war, and none of our watches or phones work anymore, we'll still be able to tell what time it is.
Or emails.
Yeah, but you can tell the time by the sun.
There's not going to be any sun.
No? Where's the sun going to be?
It's going to be nuclear winter, dude. You can't see the sun. We're all going to be living underground. Come on, man.
What's keeping us warm?
Keep up with us.
So is there someone just sitting by that clock? Always.
Well, they're still building it. But,
Okay. So they'll have someone ready to report
dude.
out to the world what time it is.
Corey, I can't speak for the Long Now Foundation, but I will check it in and get back with you.
I would hope so.
There's something called the Future Library, which is scheduling books for publication 100 years from now. And this is actually... So they've reached out... There's a thing called the Future Library, if I could just go off on a very quick tangent here. They've reached out to 100 authors, and they started in 2015. And every author, every year they pick a new author, and they ask that author to write an original story following like a certain set of themes, probably, the benefits of humanity, respect for one another, etc. And write that story and submit it to them, and it goes into a vault, not to be published or revealed or read by anybody for 100 years. And so starting in 2115, they'll start to unearth these, and we'll have original stories written by authors that, may have been famous, some may have been not so famous, that are probably long dead, but now we'll have new works from them. And they've gotten a couple of, big name authors to start off the first couple years.
I mean, that's cool, but I also think too, so we're just going to rely on basically reusing people's work to be new.
Well, it's not reusing it. It would be new because no one other than the author would have read it.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that part.
Yeah, he sends it in. No one reads it. They put it in the vault, and it's sealed there.
Okay.
There's a thing called the Arch Mission Foundation, which partnered with SpaceX to launch Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy of books into space. They put it inside the glove box of that red Tesla that was launched into space by SpaceX, and it's expected to orbit the sun for 30 million years.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
So are we hoping someone stops the car and then jumps in and checks the glove box?
Well, remember how I said I wanted to be when I die, I want to be frozen and shot into space.
No.
To be,
I don't
that's my
remember.
dream. I've talked about this on the podcast before. So that I could be revived hundreds and hundreds of years later by some alien race that brings me back to life and then
And has sex with
makes
you?
makes me their king. Well, there might be some sex involved, but they should be.
I will be
They should
doing
be
all
so
the
lucky.
sexting, Nick.
What if you're just ripped apart by asteroids while you're floating out?
That's not my body thrown into space. I'm put into some sort of capsule that will
That's
preserve me. It's not they just went like,
There you go, Bob.
kick me out the
and
door.
Of course, the capsule's going to be asteroid.
You'd be
proof.
Yeah.
horrible.
Well,
I'm glad you're not in charge of this.
A casket-sized capsule is clearly a
It would
huge,
have all worked except
a hu-
Nick had my body thrown out.
a
of the
huge match
spaceship.
to an asteroid the size of Texas.
Stop killing his dreams.
Asteroid proof.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Just going to bounce right off of it.
Look, space. I'm not sure if you knew this, but space is unbelievably huge.
It's
I mean,
vast.
it's mind-bogglingly huge.
Yeah.
However big you think it is, it's at least twice as big as that.
What if you get
That's
to
what she
like
said.
Pluto or something, and
There's the quick Gina that I was waiting for earlier.
the gravitational pull pulls you in, and you just burn in all these gases, just burn
Nick,
you up.
Nick, again, stop raining on my parade.
Like, there's not going to be rain in space, so
So
the
the-
casket's not going to have any water on it.
So
That's for sure.
the idea behind all of this is that we want humanity to live beyond.
Beyond humanity.
Yeah, if we keep going the way we're going, then conventional wisdom and the scientific community thinks that we really don't have a whole lot left to go, unless we were actually going to leave and start colonizing Mars or wherever else.
Well, that's what we are doing.
So they're sending data about the human race into space and trying to preserve it to protect against natural disasters and or humanity's own worst impulses, so that it'll be there'll be some record of what we did.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cheers. On that note,
On that note,
I might have needed this before the story, but
that was generally more positive than any other Killer Robot story I've told.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Cheers.
sorry. Maybe it's just me.
Little spillage.
Spillage.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a cynic, but I don't like being reminded of my dead frozen friends.
Wouldn't you feel better knowing that I was out there?
No. How am I going to visit you if you're floating around space?
Well, you won't. But I'll come back. I'll come back and visit your great grandchildren as the king of the alien race that takes over the earth.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
I'll go, hold on.
I'm s-
Are there
I'm
any
s-
baiters here?
I'm still really trying to figure out
You
how
guys
Bob,
are okay. Everyone else,
how
you're
Bob
not
is
my
put
slaves.
into the king position in all these scenarios.
And not like a worker
Yeah.
slave,
Again,
clearly-
why are you shitting on my dream?
Clearly, this man is meant to be king.
or just
It's
like,
like
a,
you showed up to this podcast just to shit all over
like
my
a
dreams.
lab rat that is cut open and explored to see how humans are made up.
This is one of those Bobs.
We've only seen them. We've only seen them in our super telescopes. We could never ever imagine.
I heard about those supergroups.
We don't even have the technology to travel there. But someone has delivered us one in this shoebox.
Yes.
They sent it right to us.
Yes, let me reanimate him
Prime piece
and make
of
him
meat
my
here.
king.
He's gonna
Yeah,
wait.
the
Bob's
king
gonna
part,
wake up, only being a head in a jar.
Look,
Did any of you guys?
how many people on planet Earth right now worship someone that they've never met, that they've only heard about, and they're hoping all of it's true?
They're called sociopaths.
Well, they're called Christians, in fact, but at the end of the day, why not me?
Well, here's
Why not Bob?
here's the question, Bob.
Yeah.
Do you want to experience what the United States government would do if an alien race showed up, one single alien in a pod? What do you think they're doing with that alien right now?
Well, first of all,
'Cause clearly
they're
he's not
showing
our
up-
king.
They're not looking for the government. They're showing up to some like 6-year-old boy playing with his dog in the backyard and hoping that they'll keep him in their closet until shit goes away and they get to.
This
Are
guy-
you just giving
call
us the
home.
plot of E.T.?
Yeah, I was like, is this AT?
I'm not familiar with that movie, but
E what?
No,
Never heard
he's-
of it.
He's
what's
talking.
that stand-
Anyways.
what's that stand for?
He's talking about Elf.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to
Yes.
learn to eat cats.
I
Bob.
would be like Elf.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Speaking of Alf,
Wow, I'm
Wow.
really intrigued now
Segue.
that
Nice
he's.
job, sir. You didn't even know it, but teed him up.
at O'Connor's, the place that we went to up in Tawas.
Why do you keep saying Tawas? Isn't it Tawas?
Either way,
All right. Keep going.
they used to have
You're saying it like an alien would say it, like, I am in Tawas. I don't know.
Or a robot. You were just moving like a
Tawas?
robot and talking like a robot. But you said alien.
Sure. Did I?
I am in Tawas. You didn't like the alien dance.
I did kind
Or
of
the
cross
robot
those.
dance.
You Schnozzcast get what I was saying.
They would always have a life-size elf doll right outside the door that was always holding up balloons.
Cat.
Okay.
And now I'm kind of upset. I didn't remember that when we were there. So next
Did we
time,
walk past this place?
Dude, O'Connor's, the place we went into, and you bought the necklace and earrings.
When was the
Was
last?
there? Did I walk right past an elf doll that I?
No, it's not there anymore,
okay.
obviously. But that just jogged my
Was
memory.
was this the memory that you had when Elf was actually popular and you were a little kid?
I mean, it was around that time. Yeah.
Okay, so they probably still don't have Elf sitting out there.
I feel like
No,
elf
of
was
course.
before you. Was
Oh,
it not before you?
He was a little before my time, but I mean, it was still, there was reruns and everything on TV that I saw.
Okay.
That's how Corey decided that he didn't like cats.
Is that how? Well. All right. Can we move then, Corey, into Funko This?
Ooh, already.
Already. I'm assuming you got something. Because guess what, buddy? So do I.
For Funko this?
I do.
Who are you?
Funk this.
Now I'm very intrigued.
I can't let Corey have all the fun.
It's like a disease.
Corey inspired me. I made a Target run today, and I couldn't. I walked past it, and I couldn't not put it in my cart.
I've never seen Funkos in a store ever.
If you've been
No?
to Target, there's
Been to
Funkos.
Target.
Yeah.
Well, I don't go to
They
the
have a whole
toy.
shelf.
I don't go to the toy section in Target.
Well, you don't know what you're missing, dude.
You should give it a shot.
Gina V, would you like to give our listeners just a real quick Cliff Notes explanation of what we're about
Of
to talk
the
about?
Funko this.
Yes, this segment.
Well, Corey kind of has an obsession with Funkos. And this is his, like, I want to say maybe weekly pick of what he has bought or what he's ordered or,
Oh, man, after
Stan
my own
Lee.
heart.
There you go.
Excelsior, sir.
So there's a bunch of different Stan Lee versions, and this I have never seen in any store. And I sent it to a couple guys in the Funko group.
Is it like a
It's like a
metallic sheen or something?
there's like it's a patinaed bronze kind of like statue.
Patina. It obviously says that on the back. There's no way Corey just pulled patina out of.
Hold on. He's partially educated. He might have figured that out.
No, it says it on the back in the description. Yeah, somewhere on there it says patinaed bronze version.
So when I came across this, like I said, I sent it out to a couple guys in the Funko group, and they're like, "Dude, it's I mean, again, it's not worth hundreds of thousands." But
So
it's-
what movie is
I
this
would
from?
hope not.
So you don't know who Stan Lee is?
No idea.
Please tell him who Stanley is. I'm almost embarrassed to be sitting next to this guy right now.
He's the creator of all the Marvel characters and all the greatest superheroes of all time.
Okay.
He's the one that drew them and started all of them.
Why does he look like old copper?
Because he's an old man. At least he was when
It's
he
meant to be
died.
like a statue. Yeah, he recently passed away not too long ago.
Okay.
So I figured I knew you would enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Highly approve.
So that's my Funko this week.
I don't
All
care
right.
for his name.
Why is
What?
that?
Because it sounds like Stanley, and it's broken up into two, and it just I would never. Why would you name your kid Stan if the last name was Lee?
Would you rather go up by Stanley Lee? Would that make you happy?
It would be better, but I would rather name like Bob Lee.
What?
Bobbly.
All right, Corey. Here's what I
What do we got here,
It's
Bob?
It's not a Funko, but
Close out the section, Corey. It's not a Funko. Close the section.
Ooh,
Ash versus Evil Dead.
what
It's got the lenticular cover, which caught my eye.
is that? One of the T-shirts? Oh, the actual.
Oh,
Very nice, sir.
yes.
Where'd you? And you said this was at Target?
Yeah,
Which one?
in the Heights Mall.
No shit.
Is this visible on the video? I can't even tell.
It's not visible to me.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to see it right there. Back
No.
back
No,
up.
we're gonna go like this. Okay, so we're gonna go lenticular cover. Very cool. So I felt like Corey, like, I'm not even sure I want to open this, but it's got, interchangeable heads, arms, chainsaws,
It must be really cool.
boomstick. There you go, sir.
Oh, thank you for closing it and giving it to me. Appreciate it.
I like it.
Thanks for opening it and looking at it.
Very, very nice.
What is this?
So I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead movie series, not the reboot, but the originals with it was a Sam Raimi film. And Bruce Campbell, Michigan native, so Sam Raimi, in fact, started the original Evil Dead. Then they did sequel Evil Dead 2, and then they did the third one was Army of Darkness. And then years passed, and they got together again. I want to say it was on Starz, and they did a series called Ash versus Evil Dead. So they brought the character back. He's obviously older, bit chubbier, more world weary. I mean, I think it was the very first scene of the very first episode of the first season was him trying to squeeze into the same outfit that he had worn like 20 years previously. But yeah, it's a very, very good likeness, and I hadn't seen it before, but if you're a horror fan, if you like B movie type stuff, Evil Dead, fantastic. And Ash vs. Evil Dead is actually, I think it went for 3 seasons before they got the axe, but really good television, especially with Halloween coming up. Check it out.
Something to watch.
Absolutely.
Oh, very nice pickup, sir.
Thank you, sir. I knew you'd appreciate it, even though it's not a Funko.
Ken Lashinsky does say hello.
Hello, Ken Lashinsky.
He said it's been a long time with a sad face. He's also going to the Schnozzcast Haunted House tour.
With a sad face?
No, he's very happy about that.
Oh, all right.
And he was very upset that I didn't know who Stan Lee was.
Yeah, he
Good.
gave Nick plenty of shit for not knowing who Stanley was.
Props to you, Ken. I'm as disappointed as you were. And then we'll move on from that.
Now that Gina's done pooping.
Welcome back to the stage.
Have a good poop.
Oh, didn't have my poop scraper with me.
Poop night.
And you'll never have one.
How did we get on that?
You'll never have one in this home.
Really?
Never.
Good. Good for you. Stay strong, brother.
Good to
That's
know.
right.
What about you, Gina?
A poop scraper?
Is your family clamoring for poop scrapers? And you're like,
Um,
no, I
nope.
refuse.
There's no special.
No one's clamoring?
No.
Do they know it exists? Have you gone home and crowed about it?
No. No one needs to know.
When
about that.
your friends are like, who are these podcast people? You're like,
Who are these?
you don't understand.
people?
They're talking about fantastic inventions to help you in the bathroom. It's unbelievable.
You need some bidets, some poop scrapers.
Yes.
Knife, Gina.
Oh, sorry, poop. That's even worse.
Why is it worse?
I don't know.
Only
Do you have it hanging in your bathroom?
a caveman would scrape their poop.
Oh, here's a good.
gotta cut
Let's
it.
get into this. Is Danielle letting you hang it in the bathroom?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I thought I showed you guys the picture of it.
Right, but is it the main floor bathroom? Is it the bathroom she uses?
It's the only bathroom we have.
So she does let you. Did you literally pound a nail in the wall and you're hanging it there?
there's like shit on the wall.
Corey,
Well, it depends on how much. Well, if it's
clean the
used.
bathroom wall.
Ew.
Lori did want to make a comment and say Stanley was named Stanley Martin Lieber at birth, but Stanley was just more marketable.
Thank you, babe. Keep us honest.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
Hey, babe.
That was strange time to pull that out for the first time, but
And Scotty Moore,
Yeah.
he just commented poop knife ?
Oh.
Oh.
It's
Scotty.
It's a whole
It's a
thing,
whole
buddy.
thing. It's a whole thing.
But I will send Bob the link to Amazon. He can send it to you.
or you could just redirect him to that episode.
in all
Yeah,
honesty,
Scotty.
Whatever
How
that
are you
one
not?
is.
Why are you not familiar with our dozens and dozens of past episodes and this story?
And God knows we don't want to hear it one more time.
And you call
so
yourself a super fan, Scotty. Come on.
I will strip you of your superfan status.
All right. So back to this. So she does let you hang it in the bathroom.
yeah, it's been hanging in the bathroom.
Okay. Is it still in its sheath?
No, it's open.
I mean, it's a knife.
It's-
right.
it's-
Is sheath not the right word?
Yeah, it was just in a piece of plastic.
It's ready.
All right.
It's ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah, there's no. Okay, let me just tell you. Let me tell you this.
I
Let me
don't
tell you
know.
this.
Ready to go.
There is no way if he's taking it out of that plastic.
Yeah.
There is no way that Corey, sitting home by himself one day, did not attempt it and then wash it off.
At least once.
There's no way.
no way.
If it's out of the plastic,
whatever day he bought it, if he bought it on the 12th, he used it on the 13th.
if it's out of,
at least.
Because it was not out of the plastic. It had been in the plastic for quite some time. But if it's now out of the plastic, that means that Corey one day waited for Danielle to leave and was like, I'm going to play with my shit in the toilet. And splash, 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 splash. And then he like went outside and hit it with the hose.
On. Why is there so much splashing going on? Does that defeat the purpose of the poop knife?
Well, it's just like a regular sized knife made of silicone.
But you don't want a lot of splashing and a lot of droplets.
Well, you're not cutting it like filet mignon.
Dude.
I mean, what the fuck?
Are you saying every time Danielle reaches for a square, she's got to deal with looking at that?
Your shit knife.
That's
What
correct.
is the drippage on the vent down there?
Your girlfriend
Ew.
is the most understanding woman in the history of women.
Bob, can we zoom in down on what's on the vent there?
I'm not controlling it.
I would like to say it's poop.
I would
but
say
it's not.
yes,
It's just
but-
paint chipping on the vent.
But
Poop-
sure it
poop
is.
drippage.
Nothing more.
Sure it is.
There's nothing that chips paint more than
Shit.
liquid shit.
liquid feces.
You know when they stop listening to the podcast?
All
The
the
minute
shit
they
talk.
heard liquid shit, and they're like, nope.
Corey's just in there taking a BM.
So there you guys go. That's the
Close out of this quickly.
It's a shit.
She's literally one of the most understanding women I've ever met.
To a fault.
Yeah, hats off to you, Danielle. I know you're not listening, but you know.
oh, she's in bed already, bud.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
sound asleep.
Oh yeah.
You think I'd take it outside?
Just like a podcast.
I think I'd take it outside and hit it with the hose, but it just goes right in the dishwasher.
Ew, Nicholas.
Oh, you don't have to wash it.
So, would you consider getting a bidet as well, or are you thinking because I got the poop knife, I don't need a bidet? Because they're serving two different purposes.
Well, correct. That's
So, would you still get a bidet?
yeah. I would consider it.
Okay.
Corey did tell me one night that after being intoxicated that he attempted to use it.
Your bidet.
Yeah.
And
And
your verdict. I mean, it's a wake up call for sure.
It's an interesting feeling.
Yeah.
I did
I don't know
notice
how in depth we want to go about this.
I do remember feeling for some time, dude, what is Corey doing?
We got to go to church in 5 minutes. You got to get your tie on, your sport coat. We got to get to Mass. 11 o'clock Mass. Get out of the bathroom, Corey. Stop using my bidet.
Well, he's got a clean asshole from ass, I guess.
Oh, okay.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
All right. So,
What's our time looking like?
well, our time's at 52:28 right now, but I want to give, so for the listeners, so coming up, we've got, we're going to go through Gentleman's Agreement, and we're definitely going to close out the entire thing with Pick of the Week at the end, but in the middle, we might do a little bit of either top 5 or we'll do a little 100 questions.
Oh, boy.
We're going to flip a coin maybe and see what happens, but hey, thank you for tuning in this far, and we hope that you'll stick with us for the second half.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was-
no.
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
That's
sounds
my.
good.
Yep.
I thought-
Should I make a slashing motion across the throat? You want like, yeah, we're gonna take
no,
a
I
break.
thought Nick was going to say something, but
No,
he was
no.
just burping.
Yeah, there's just a lot of
Well, Nick
carbonation.
normally introduces
Nick
the second
does it
half, and I feel like
early.
I stole his thunder, and so I looked over to him.
I
it's
introduced
sort of-
the second half.
you literally take us out of the first
Like,
half.
we'll
Oh,
see.
yeah, I do. I'm sorry.
10
So,
minutes.
And I stole his thunder. So,
well, we were at 52, so I thought you wanted to go for like, 7 or, 8 more minutes.
well, the crazy part is, I should have
Oh,
done
this will take us there.
Go fuck yourself.
Welcome to intermission,
He
everyone.
just looked at his
Go
notes
fuck
again.
yourself.
Jesus Christ. Here we go.
I just published. I should have done this in housekeeping, but I just published episode 87 up on iTunes tonight. And during that episode, I've started in the description of the episode on iTunes. I started putting like timestamps. Like, here's where we started housekeeping. Here's where we went to booze news. Here's where we're gonna Funko this, so that if people want to skip to that stuff, like you can do that.
If he says algorithm, I'm getting up and walking
Nope.
out.
But I noticed that on that episode, we started Gentleman's Agreement at like 44 minutes, and we went to the next section at 1:47. So I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like 52 minutes. I'm like, there's no way we're starting Gentleman's Agreement now.
No.
Not if we're gonna break.
Yeah.
We can't get that done in 8 minutes. I don't think we've ever done it in 8 minutes. So we should take a break.
Well, you hold your tongue, sir. Some of us have.
So break and then.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and we will see you guys when we come back. It's just going to be like it was just yesterday.
Part 2 of episode 91 of Schnozzcast.
I kind of missed the sound.
Yeah. Most people do. But they've never heard it twice in a row, apparently.
No, they haven't. All right. So we're going to jump into gentleman's agreement right now. Let's see if we can get through this in less than an hour.
Cut out your own voice.
All right. So we're going to start with Gina. Gina, what was your assignment for last week?
So Nicholas gave me my assignment in The Devil Next Door. And because I suck and I only watched an hour and a half, but I did make up for it. I watched the last episode.
I'm not sure if I would call that making up for it.
I
would call that skipping to the end.
But I didn't need to watch all of them.
Hey, that awesome book that you asked me to read. I read the first
I
two
skipped
chapters,
N.
and I also read chapter 75.
But I didn't have to watch all of them.
I mean,
no.
he wasn't looking for you to know how it ended.
I kind of knew how it ended anyway.
Okay.
There's a devil next door.
The Devil Next Door. So, watching the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of recapped on everything and how this gentleman his name was John, and he was
Sorry, spoilers.
spoilers. Sorry
Yep.
for all the spoilers. He was called. Now I can't even think what I want to say. The Ivan the Terrible is what he was being convicted for, but his name, he wasn't Ivan. He was like wrongly accused. They said that John has blue eyes, blonde hair, and Ivan has dark eyes and dark hair. And from what I watched from the last episode is that he ended up being wrongly accused for this. And after he went through this whole trial and he was sent back to Ohio and everything was back to normal, he, after like the U.S. said, well, we can't have him back here, but he also didn't commit this crime here. So they sent him back. And even though he wasn't Ivan the Terrible, he still was a guard. He still was in many concentration camps.
Yeah, to cover what era we're talking about as
during
far
the
as
Holocaust.
yeah, okay.
So they did say that he was part of many concentration camps, and he was part of 29,000 Jews that were murdered, and that he would beat the Jews before they would go into the gas chamber. So even if he wasn't Ivan the Terrible, he still committed horrendous acts and crimes towards these Jews. So from what I got at the end of it, because obviously I didn't watch all of it.
I feel like this is what happens when you ask someone to give a book report and they forgot their notes, and you're like, "Can I have your notes real quick?"
No, I did write some notes because I was like, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I kind of wanted to know how it all ended, and
Yep.
And I kind of remember, like, I was talking to my dad about it. He's like, well, he ended up dying in a nursing home because he was waiting. He wanted to go to a retrial, and he ended up dying in that time. Mm-hmm. But he also, when I was talking to my dad about it, he said that he even had the name of Ivan the Terrible. He used his name to get into the U.S., his last name. For some reason, they use, supposedly their mother's maiden name. I don't know why, to come over to the United States. He didn't use his real name. Just coincidental, he used Ivan the Terrible's name to get over. So that was like I don't know why he did that. That was just one thing my dad and I talked about. They also said that while he was waiting, when they took him from Ohio and they brought him back over, that he acted like he was so sick. He was like in a wheelchair. He was dying. But it was all a show because they were really watching him.
Mm-hmm.
They were watching him to see, oh, what is his day-to-day life? Well, he's still going to the doctors. He's still going to the grocery store. But all of a sudden, when he had to go back to Germany, he's on his deathbed. He's in a gurney. EMS is taking him there, but it was all just an act so he can get the sympathy plea of like, oh, this man's really bad off. But it was just a show.
I just love that, between the U.S. and it was the U.S. and Jerusalem, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he was back and forth with in the court systems and everything like that. And I love the fact that the end result was they sent him to Germany for trial. And they instantly convicted him. They're like, you know what? We ourselves were a part of this, and this is a new regime, and we want to make our name good, and we want to shine ourselves up now and say that this isn't who we are, and all the people that who we were in the past are now gone or they're dead, and we are setting an example to say that this is not tolerable.
That's just as we talked about the same documentary that the second he was going back to Germany, that was the nail in his coffin because
he knew
there was no way that Germany was gonna be like, oh, let's give him a fair trial.
What would that
he
say?
might not be guilty. They were like, nope, he's fucking guilty.
Yep.
He said that you're trying to rebuild and make a new name for themselves. So there was no way that.
And to like a quick summary, if someone was interested in watching this was a real life documentary that this transpired back in the 90s, I think it was. But it's a man from Ohio named John, and he was just everyone's favorite neighbor. The guy with the German accent that everyone loved in the neighborhood and went to church and did all this stuff, and just the sweetest man in the world. And even some of his family had no idea about any of this. And, it may be years later, but people should be held accountable for their crimes. Oh, well, you're not Ivan the Terrible? Oh, okay, well, dismissed. No, that's not the way it goes. You killed and committed genocide and horrific acts. There is no way that you should be living the American dream somewhere in Ohio, which I don't know how anyone could in Ohio, but anywhere in the U.S., living comfortably. Even his jail cell, he had access to his family members' photos, and they got to write him and all this stuff. What about the fucking people you killed and beat mercilessly and killed their children and all this stuff? Were they able to see their family and hug them goodbye and do all this? And no. So fuck, that jail cell was way too comfortable. He should have been treated exactly the same way as how he treated all those other people. And if he did it to one person, he should have been treated that way. But the fact that he did it to so many, I don't know why it was stretched out so long.
It was 29,000, and he wasn't just at one camp. He was at several.
And if you watch the entire documentary, they had many eyewitnesses that they brought in that were in tears and couldn't even look him in the eye. And the second they sat down, they said, "That's him. He was there. He was the one that did this to me. He was the guard. I remember his face. I remember this." And he just had this kind of stoic, lost look in his face, the whole time. One of the guys actually ran across the courtroom and yelled at him and said, "I want you to say who you are. Tell them because he had this act the whole time, like, this is, I'm wrongly accused. This is, I'm just in America. I might happen to be from Germany and all this stuff. But they ended up looking up documents, a lot of which were burned, and finding all this evidence that he changed his name and he was in the specific town where the concentration camps were that he claimed he never been to. And, just way too much evidence that said, yeah, you may not be the guy with blonde hair and blue eyes, but you were one of the head concentration camp guards, that his specific job was to send people into the gas chamber. And it wasn't like, oh, God, I really feel bad about this, but let's keep the line moving. It was, his job was to be like a warmonger, get your ass in there, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, and enjoy doing it. So the fact that they let that go on so long to where he died peacefully in a nursing home and was a little inconvenienced, man, I would have loved to see him string up in the street somewhere. I mean, that was just ridiculous.
What did you think about when they interviewed the family? I don't know. It was a gentleman. They were talking towards the end, like, okay, what would you do in this situation? It's you die or you let other people die. I don't know if I would.
So I guess that's what separates the good from the bad. I get it. I get the mindset of, oh, well, I have to kill all these hundreds of thousands of people, otherwise I die. Well, maybe you die.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Couldn't live with that.
No. And live with, no. You escape, you do something, you kill yourself. I'm sure as a guard you had a pistol. Mm-hmm. I'm not sending women and children and families to a gas chamber. Fuck that.
Well, apparently he didn't really care because he would beat them before he'd put them in the gas chamber.
Oh yeah, that's more than not really caring.
Yeah,
that's
he just
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Treating people like livestock. I mean, shit, you'd get arrested for doing that to livestock. Yeah. Gas chamber and animal abuse. So for human, I mean, that's I can't even imagine. But yeah, it's deep and it's, I don't want to say interesting, but it was just something that I thought I'm glad I watched. It's nice to know that kind of information. I can't remember Bob's thoughts on it. I know you. I don't want to say you enjoyed it.
Oh no, I mean, it's
horrible.
You guys pretty much encapsulated it. When I gave my review, it was, I wanted to see this guy get his comeuppance because I was convinced he was guilty, but you can't always get what you want. So,
but I do love courtroom documentaries like that where you feel part of the jury and you're like, have they convinced you beyond a reasonable doubt? And they absolutely like 5 times over convinced me. So.
All right. Let's move over to Corey.
Oh, boy.
Did you grow ovaries watching this?
I had the Maze Runner.
Assigned to you by?
Oh, the one and only Gina.
Nope.
Gina blah, blah.
Yeah, that's it. Pronounced correctly.
Oh, I am Dutch.
Bob, I will say this one got all your movies out of the woods.
What does that mean?
It means it sucked more than me.
This
It
reached
got all my movies out of the woods.
Yeah, your movies were lost in the woods. The woods are what suck.
Do you think it really sucked?
Friend,
I mean,
friend.
Hold on. Let me look. Let me look back at Gentleman's Agreement because I want to know. I want to see what Corey was assigned from me. So it was better. It was
Blade Runner.
It was worse than Blade Runner. Worse than Scott Pilgrim.
Worse than Blade.
Worse than Officer and a Gentleman. Worse than The Big Sleep.
He did not care for Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah, Blade Runner and Officer and Gentleman were the two that
Two on the bottom of the list. But this is worse than that.
Really tanked
Yes.
with those two.
Yes.
yeah.
Vindication.
He's so proud.
Yeah.
So basically, again, I don't know who directed Maze Runner or anything like that.
Scorsese.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
God, I hope
It was
not.
not.
Whoever did, he just watched the Hunger Games and said, "Well, how do I change the Hunger Games a little bit, and I'll make it my own fucking movie."
Maybe, Corey, you just don't like movies that involve running.
No, because there really wasn't even that much running in the movie, to be honest with
Well,
you.
Blade Runner and Maze Runner.
Trying to get out, trying to.
A lot of running.
Oh, I mean, if that's how you want to look at it, fine.
Perhaps like Blade Shuffler would be right up your alley.
Is there a movie called The Dog Walker that we can get for Corey?
I bet there is.
More of a speed.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm not gonna say terrible, but it was
I feel like you just did.
Oh,
Yeah, you already
you
did.
said it was the worst movie you've ever been given.
yeah, on the podcast, yes, it
Wow.
has been.
Thanks. right here.
Well, I mean, like I said, all they did, they just recreated the Hunger Games and put their own little spin on it. There was a lot of sci-fi to it.
Corey's not
And
a
you
fan of
love
it.
Have you seen the
sci-fi.
Hunger Games?
Corey's not.
I have.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Yeah.
Corey's not a fan of the
Did
sci-fi.
you like the Hunger Games?
No, he doesn't like the sci-fi at all.
I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I would rather watch the Hunger Games over Maze Runner.
Maybe I should just give you all the Maze Runners to watch.
Oh.
Well, then I can pull a Gina and just not watch them
Just
and
not fucking watch them.
skip to
I've
the end.
actually already
Maybe
done the
skip to the end.
algorithm, and
I knew that was going to come up again.
he's really not going to be happy.
Oh, fantastic.
The algorithm has spoken. The robots have spoken, sir.
Do we really get a review here? We can move on to...
It's the best part of the movie. The
Girl takes her top off.
kid that
Oh, he would have killed for that.
plays what's the
Dr. Octopus.
movie with they're in the RV
Elroy.
and they're
Thurgood Marshall.
running
No.
drugs across the border.
Breaking
Jennifer
Bad.
Aniston?
Spider-Man.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's the one with Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston. What's the name of that movie?
Friends.
No. I know which movie you're talking about. He was in there. He played.
Yeah, he
The
was
main
he was
characters,
the
yeah.
he was the best part of the movie. That was it.
I get it.
All right, then.
All right.
So.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, you're really going to love what she assigns you next.
To anyone out there listening, don't go watch The Maze Runner. It's
You should watch all three of them.
All right, Nicholas Bader.
Yes, Bob.
Your gentleman's agreement.
Oh, yeah, Ex
I
Machina.
didn't know I had to tee this up for you. Okay.
Yeah, so I was given Ex Machina by Bob, and I was able to watch 3/4 of it today. However, I'd seen it in the past, but didn't remember it. So it might have been like a drunken movie that I watched, but I did remember that I liked it, but not enough to where I remembered like a lot of the details of it. It just was one of those kind of deja vu moments. But really good. I remember I liked it at the time. Really, really liked it. So basically, it's, and spoiler alert, but highly recommend. I'll just give you the basics of the movie because I think that really everyone should go out and see this if you haven't. So basically, it's a kid who works for like a tech company or search engine company, something like that. And he happens to be like one of the best programmers in that company. He wins a contest, quote unquote, and gets flown out to basically what looks like the opening scene of Jurassic Park. This huge, huge complex that he gets flown out to. And basically it's miles and miles and miles of mountains and trees and woods. And he's helicoptered in to the point where he can't even be helicoptered in right to the complex. He has to be dropped off by a river, and he has to walk to the complex and find his way. But the long and the short of it is that this, like, what's the guy from SpaceX?
Elon Musk.
Yeah, this like Elon Musk amount of money kind of man is in charge of this company and brought him and solely him out here to this complex to work out an android AI that he's designed. And his job is to interview it, live there for several days, interview this AI, and basically see if it fits the litmus test of actually being artificial intelligence, which they said there's a series of questions and parameters that it has to fit, but basically that you don't feel that they're programmed responses, that it's a machine that can think for itself. It has its own conscious thought. It can experience emotion and stuff like that. And so he wanted the best of the best of his company, which is like this 26-year-old kid, to come out and see if it fits that test. I'm not going to give away any more, but I'll leave it with that. If you guys are interested in anything like that, it's really, really cool. Kind of runs parallel with if you're trying to envision what the AI looks like some of the early RoboCop movies. Human face, the rest is robot. But really cool the way they did it. So I would definitely check it out. Ex Machina. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. So to close it out, I was assigned Apollo 11 by Corey. And I appreciate it, sir, because I've now on, I want to say, 2 out of the last 4 weeks been assigned something that I had planned to watch anyway, which doesn't happen very often. So I was very happy about that. So Apollo 11 is essentially it was a CNN documentary. This is the movie form of it that was on Hulu. It's from their footage. There's no voiceover. There's no production. It's literally just the footage and the audio from NASA and from local news coverage on the flight of Apollo 11. Which, if you're not familiar, if you're one of the really young members of the audience, it was the flight in 1969 that put Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins on the moon. So it was awesome. It really took me back to, obviously I was born in 69, so I didn't see any of it, but I grew up with that kind of reverence for space travel. And that wonder of like, oh, we landed on the moon. It was a huge achievement. The Challenger thing happened when I was in school. It was something that, space was something I was really interested in. So it was a very sort of it's kind of like a fly in the wall, documentary of what happened during the setup and the lead in for the Apollo 11 flight. And, based on some things that I'd read and other movies I'd seen, like First Man with Gosling, where he played Neil Armstrong, it was really, really cool to see how it actually played out with all of the footage, including the footage from the lander as they touched down on the moon.
Well, so, and given that, what do you think about the remastering of all the footage? Because obviously that what you're seeing in the documentary is not, it's the original footage, but it's obviously all touched up and redone. Yeah. And
it was great. It was fantastic. Do I think that they should have done it?
No. Obviously they still have the actual old original footage that
right.
You could always go back and view. But to me, seeing everything just so bright and in contrast, and it was. Yeah. It's like watching a HD movie that was made in '69.
But remember when they would flash back to, because old school NASA. So have you ever seen Apollo 13, the Ron Howard film with Tom Hanks and Bill Paxton and Ed Harris? They tried to recreate for Apollo 13 what actually happened in the LEM and also in Mission Control at Houston. So you already kind of know, like, it's just row upon row upon row upon row. And there was like a couple of shots where they would kind of like pan the camera down all these rows, like 15, 16 rows of guys just sitting there smoking cigarettes in white shirts and ties, looking at banks of what appear to be like knobs and buttons, like the 1960s version of computers. And that's kind of what they did. But they showed a couple of reaction shots where they were piping in video from the lander. One sec. So they're trying to watch them, and they're all obviously like wringing their hands, like, is all this work that we put in for years and years and years? It was 8 years since Kennedy announced that they were going to take on this program, and they're watching the video and hoping that they don't die as soon as they touch foot on the moon, or that they actually make it, that they get back in, they get back alive. And so they're wringing their hands through all this stuff, but they're looking at video that's really shitty. I mean, it's so shitty because you could see they're showing you the screen that they're looking at, and it's like a whole lot of like horizontal hold problems, and but they were still like, I can't believe it. And they were so happy, celebrating what they knew was a historic moment. And they'd also never seen video that was better than that. It was a horrible video they were watching. The quality in 1969 was god awful.
Oh, it was insanely terrible. But yeah, to them at the time,
it was amazing.
Well,
everything that happened in 1969 for them was amazing.
Well, and for craft to be that far away from the video source of what you're watching, I can't even imagine how some of those guys wrap their heads around that.
Yeah,
that we're somehow wirelessly transmitting all this video from them on the moon to us here. And even though, it was shitty video, I mean, that to them, that like when we first started and we were just using the GoPro and making shitty little time-lapse films. At the time, I'm like, whoa, this is great, because that's all we had.
Yeah.
So to now go to this, like I couldn't imagine, what was running through their heads during all that.
We hereby interrupt this gentleman's agreement review to do a Schnozzcast shot.
Hang on, which I sent you a text.
Interrupt. We interrupt this review.
There's no texting.
Interrupt
during
the review.
There's no texting during the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to try to get Gina an apple pie shot since she didn't want to.
No,
No,
next
you don't have
time.
to text us.
Next
Just
time.
go grab it.
That's what the text was. It's not in the freezer.
It's in the freezer upstairs.
Oh,
Go ahead and do your shot. I'm fine.
okay. Well, I tried.
Thank you. for
Laziness
thinking of
prevails.
me.
Here we go. And now I will continue my review while Corey runs up against apple pie for Gina. So let me close by saying,
You don't have to.
yeah, you do.
Corey.
Let me close by saying, I thought it kind of brought everything back to that, when they, because there's no voiceover. It's not like Morgan Freeman's giving voiceover, and now as our astronauts went to, there's nothing.
The astronauts had gone to the moon.
Nothing. So it naturally leads you to just watch more closely, because no one's explaining to you what you're seeing. So I remember at the very beginning, they would show like a view from the outside, looking at the capsule, and there were lines on what almost looked like things that were dripping down in the window. And later on, when you're watching, you find out that they're
Blood? Was it blood?
no, it was not blood.
Oh.
It was the astronaut's blood. They were range markers, so that when they looked out the window, they could tell whether or not they were in the zone for reentry, like a certain trajectory and a certain pitch, a certain altitude. I'm sure I'm not a scientist.
Probably a yaw.
Probably a yaw. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So they were they were getting all the numbers from NASA, but they also had to do a bit of eyeballing themselves. And if you know the story of Neil Armstrong, you know that landing on the moon was not a piece of cake. He had to do some on the spot quick thinking to land where they did, and just see them take off. And to know that there was some science and some big brains behind how they had to take off, in what direction they had to take off in order to escape the velocity of the gravity of the moon, but also to put them on a trajectory that would slingshot them back.
Yeah, almost like a slingshot.
Tons of science that I do not get, but I have the utmost respect for just watching this video. So highly recommend, unless you hate space or space travel, please check out Apollo 11 on Hulu.
So kind of to go along with the whole Apollo idea, just a little fun fact I came across the other day when Michael Bay was directing
Armageddon?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I could stay away.
So
just to
Stop it.
So apparently during filming, Ben Affleck asked Michael Bay, like, hey, like, this just came to me the other day. Wouldn't it have been easier to teach astronauts how to be oil drillers rather than teach oil drillers to be astronauts?
That's the question that all of us in the audience asked while we were watching
And
it.
I guess all Michael Bay did was turn to Ben Affleck and go, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
I was laughing for hours at that when I came across that.
We're not going to let a silly thing like science get in the way of this spectacle we're making.
You shut the fuck up.
It's funny if you look on, I think it was probably Neil deGrasse Tyson who was the most vocal about all of the problems, and there are so many with Armageddon. Where, if you're a scientist, It's like being an English major and watching someone try to write a paper that doesn't know how to speak, and they start putting together all these words. They don't know Y-O-U-R versus Y-O-U''re, and you're like, what the fuck, man? Why are you even trying this?
Who wronged you, Bob?
So many people. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, sort of the scientific version of that, where he's like, I cannot watch that movie because I get so angry with how many mistakes they made, where had they asked me, I would have consulted with them for free just so they would get it right. So there's a lot of that shit, Corey. But it was a great recommendation. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I thought it was awesome. Loved it. And with that, let's go on to new assignments for next week. As I mentioned to Nick earlier, I've already ran through the algorithm.
Oh, boy.
And so I have drawn Nick. Corey has drawn me. Gina has drawn Corey for the ultimate in revenge. Mm-hmm. And Nick has drawn Gina. So, who would like to go first? Anybody have any strong recommendations, strong suggestions? I see Corey grinning over there. He's got something for me. Or does he?
I do. Because
Okay.
the other, it's just tough because there's ones I want to try to save for certain people.
You know what?
Certain people.
I feel confident in saying that you and I will be here every podcast. So if you don't assign it to me this week, I'm sure you'll assign it to me at some point in the future.
No, this is a good one for you.
Okay.
A Gray State on Netflix.
A Gray
State.
Gray.
Correct.
Okay. Is this a documentary or a movie or a series or what?
In my normal fashion, it is a documentary.
All right. Okay. I really can't complain because, like I said, two of the last 4 weeks, I got something pretty awesome. So thank you, buddy.
No problem.
Anybody else got something or you want me to go?
Yeah, I got something.
All right, sir.
Gina, have you seen The Life of David Gale?
No, I haven't.
I originally gave it to Joe, and he lied and said that he never saw it. And then he came back and said, yeah, I lied to you. I really did see it. And then he didn't review it. So
Okay.
Sounds about right.
It's going to be given to you. The Life of David Gale. And
Netflix?
it's available on Amazon Prime Video for $3.99.
Oh, okay. So it's not a freebie.
It's not a freebie.
Welcome to the Schnozzcast, Gina, where we pay for our movies here.
That's right.
So Amazon Prime.
We take this shit
Oh, yeah.
seriously.
Speaking of which, I had to fucking pay for the Maze Runner, goddammit.
Yeah, I had to fucking pay for.
Ex Machina.
I had to pay for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all had to pay for shit, guys.
No, I know. I'm just.
You're just mad because what you paid for sucked.
It sucked. I get it.
I mean,
So that's the question.
what's the question?
That is the question.
Is the
Do
question.
you have to reimburse?
Yes. If someone gives you something that
Oh.
you have to pay for and
you
it
want
sucks,
$3.99? I'll Venmo.
that would keep people honest.
Well,
don't you think?
the real question is then, would you have recommended it to him if you knew that you'd have to pay if he didn't like it?
That's what I'm saying. It's going to keep you honest, to keep you on track, to give someone something they would like.
But we're not suggesting that she wasn't honest unless she wasn't.
Wasn't honest about.
No, not her. Him.
Well, no, her.
He had to pay for it.
Oh, do you think I just gave him a shitty movie just to give him
Well,
a
that
shitty movie?
I think that's the
No.
point he's making, that it makes you make sure that you're not like punishing
Yes,
someone with a
exactly.
revenge choice.
Exactly.
Why
So
would
the
I
question to
punish
Gina is,
Corey?
if you knew that if he gave it a shitty review, you'd have to pay for it, would you still have given it in the Maze Runner?
I don't know if. I guess. I mean,
I
I
mean,
liked
if you
it.
knew,
I don't know.
if you knew you had to put up, I mean, legitimately, generally it costs $4, right?
$4,
yeah,
right.
$3.99.
So if it's a $4 thing, if that, I feel like that's what gentleman's agreement. That's the next step.
Yes, I
Oh,
think
like-
so.
The next step is
Well-
I will bet $4 of my own money that you will like this.
Because-
if you and I'm trusting that if you did, you'll be honest, and that if you liked it, then you're cool. You paid for it.
Well,
We're all done here. But if you hated it, I will send you $4.
Yeah, because the good news is that, $4 isn't going to make or break anybody, and it's like throwing money in a jar, like a swear jar. It's the novelty of it. But
Yeah.
but the good news is also that most movies you don't have to pay for.
Right.
So
Most of them,
in the
right.
sense that you're going to go off on a limb and give someone something, then you better be gearing it towards that person.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
thinking about what they like, and not as much about what you like.
Yep.
I like this idea.
And it'll go forward from this point on.
Starting tonight?
Starting tonight.
So if
All right.
the other person thinks it really sucked.
Yes.
then
If you
gotta
hate
pay.
the life of David Gale, I zell you $4.
And we'll go on the Gladiator like thumbs up, thumbs down ruling. We'll have to.
Yep.
Fine.
Yep.
Overall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm on board with it. Does anyone object to this?
The only thing I want to say is that Corey can't be cheap and just say he didn't like it just so he gets his money back.
Well, history will bear that out, right? I mean, after so many weeks of that happening, I mean,
Yeah.
don't you think we'd call bullshit?
Daniel, that was amazing.
I've seen better.
Sucked.
I've seen better.
I'm keeping track of it, and I will
$4.
notice that he didn't.
$4.
He only said that about shit that someone assigned to him that wasn't Danielle.
What? That he didn't like it?
Yeah.
No, he's loved the stuff I've given him.
I don't necessarily know. I mean, I
Corey,
kinda
true.
know.
Last couple ones I gave you liked a lot.
Yeah. I go over my list here. I can't even remember the last thing you gave
I mean,
me.
whatever
Remember
change
you
we make,
binged?
whatever change we make is
The Rain?
it's
Or-
going to be super easy if you feel like if someone's actually doing that just to get their money back, you're going to draw them and you're going to do the same shit. So
Right.
I think we're all adults enough to know, like, don't fuck around.
I'm gonna tell you this though.
Yeah.
It's been I can count on one hand.
I'm trying to look at what I was assigned.
Excuse
that
me.
would've
I can
caused
count
me
on
to go
one
like
hand.
that.
91 episodes.
No, you're right. I interrupted you. You're right.
91 episodes. How many times I've actually paid to rent a movie on the gentleman's agreement? It's been very few for me.
I think all of us have done it a few times.
And there's going to be no reimbursement if, and I'm going to put this clause in, if someone like Bob, who has a great collection of awesome movies, says to you,
yeah.
I have the DVD, so
Yep.
you don't have to rent it, and you say, fuck that, I'm going to go with convenience over
I can't
taking
be
something for
bothered.
free, then you're not going to have to reimburse that person if they don't like
I
it.
would say that's fair.
That's pretty
if
fair.
If I had it and I offered it and you decided
and you smacked,
not to
we
stop
smacked
by
your
my
hand
house,
away. Yep.
Yeah, then you.
And there's
you-
not
you
even
get what you
stopping
get.
by your house. We see you enough. You could bring it to the bar. You could bring it over to the house one night.
I think
No.
that's fair.
Yeah, I think
it's fair.
that you should
Fair
have just a get out of jail free card. And, hey, I offered it to you. I physically said I will bring it to you, but you didn't want it. You paid for it your own way so you could pretend you're working and watch it at work. And
Hey,
not you.
okay. I was gonna say
I don't think any other one of us sitting here really has that many DVDs that we could return the favor. So it's really just going to help you. But
no. I think I've offered it many times.
you just ex machina. You're like, I've got it. If you
I did.
yeah.
Okay. So I have a gray state. Thank you, sir. Which leaves me. So Nick, I've got. I drew you.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Never mind. Hey, we'll keep Gray State. I just saw at the bottom of my list what I should.
Oh,
Yeah, there's always next time.
okay. All right, Nick. I'm going to give you the choice here. What kind of movie do you want?
You seem to know me pretty well. You've got a
I have a ton of them.
90% success rate.
I have a ton of them. Comedy, action, drama, thriller, western, love story.
Western.
You going western again?
Yep.
I lied. I don't have another Weston.
Oh, I got a bunch of them. All right, we're going to go for a few dollars more.
Okay.
Which is the sequel to
Fistful of Dollars.
Yep. Scott, I will record it.
Don't record it. I mean, I'll just watch it.
No, I'm putting it in the OneNote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the folks know.
You're like a stenographer.
So that folks know we're using OneNote to keep notes on this shit.
We don't really
And,
think Nick watches the movies, so Bob records him secretly.
It's helped me out a bunch of different times, and I learned tonight that actually Corey's using it, so I'm pretty happy about that. And eventually, I'll I'll get Nick to come around.
It's like
He has it downloaded. I was with him when he
Yeah, I
downloaded everything.
know, but downloading something and using it is two different things.
Introduce the sugar water to the ant colony, and they start using it and eating it and putting it. And you're like, oh, look! I'm so excited that they're actually doing that.
Yes.
And hang on, I gotta go back. I'm still backpedaling here on my choice for you.
No, you already gave your choice.
No, because just given the some of the stuff we've talked about off air with how things have been going and all that, I want to change my movie choice for you.
How have things been going?
Okay, I don't know.
just as far as numbers wise and all that stuff.
Okay,
we've
so not a
personally
gray
talked
state.
about.
What are we going with here?
A mediocre time with Tom and Dave.
Well, that does sound like our numbers.
That's on Amazon Prime, and it's a documentary about these guys that started a podcast.
Corey loves documentaries.
He's a big fan. With Tom and Dave.
Correct.
Dave Sikora,
No.
Tom Green,
Way lesser known.
Tom Green. My bum is on the Swedish.
All right, we're getting down to the end, so we got a couple of things we do. I know we don't want to try to pick of the week. Do we have time for anything else? I feel like we're at
100 questions.
I feel like I'd really like to get this fucking top 5 off of my.
Yeah, and the walkers. We have
Late.
to do
All
that.
right, then we'll do the top 5 and the walkers.
No. You know what? Fuck the top 5. Walkers has been like a couple of weeks
It's been like 4
delayed.
weeks.
So let's do walkers first, and then we'll probably have time for pick of the week, and that'll be it. So this is what would this fall under, guys?
This was my pick of the week. So this is
Is this going to be your pick of the week for this week?
This is like a Unsolved Mysteries update.
So your pick of the week is okay.
No, I already gave it as a pick of the week. So I gave my pick of the week. This is an update to the pick of the week.
Archived pick of the week, reanimated, brought back to life.
We wanted to do away with kind of put to the side not having to eat chips in crinkly bags on an audio podcast.
Yeah.
So we waited to do the pick of the week, which was Walker's chips, which was from my uncle, who's from the UK. Walkers are from the UK, and I actually physically brought 4 different flavors of unique chips from the UK to the podcast, and I wanted the guys to try it, but we did it off air, and we said next week we'll give our review, which never happened.
So for anybody who's listening to the live stream right now, the funny thing is I just published episode 87, which includes that's when we went through the chips.
Full
and decided
circle.
to wait until the podcast was over, which we did later that exact same night. And so now you're going to hear what we thought.
Yeah, I'm not the one that tried them, so it was you and Corey.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Corey's got some notes on it. Corey.
He's too busy trying to bring up potato
He said he
chip
put
bags.
it in the one
Because he wants to pull up the graphics, that's why.
I'm just working on pulling up because I took the pictures of all the different the 3 different ones we
Yeah.
have.
All
Yes.
right. Why don't I do you a favor then, and I'll run upstairs to get the apple pie. Is that where the apple pie is?
Yep.
Okay. And then I'll let.
So, I'll give a little explanation here. So, there were 4 types of chips. Walker's was purchased by Frito-Lay, but they were a company from the UK that made potato chips. And they're my uncle, who's from London, had told me that, there are some pretty unique flavors that you had never probably tried. So he had me try them, and I liked them so much that I brought them to the guys. And I said, I wish I could bring a couple of these bags for Corey and Bob, who my uncle knows, and he's like, I'm one step ahead of you. I already bought them some. So he sent them to the podcast. The flavors were rotisserie chicken,
Roast chicken,
prawn cocktail, onion, what was it?
cheese and onion,
and bacon cheddar.
smoky bacon.
Yeah, smoky bacon were the 4 flavors. So I sat back. We went outside to the bar in the backyard. We opened the chips, and they're like, well, what do you like? Which one do you like? And I'm like, I'm not saying shit. You guys are eating them, and you're going to tell me what you like. So, Corey, if you want to go on from there.
So starting from the bottom, as far as I think the one that we all kind of agreed that, because it's basically just Walker's take on sour cream and onion,
Mm-hmm.
or like sour cream and cheddar, was the cheese and onion. It was good, but again, the flavor wasn't anything really different from what we have here. As far as you like I say, you can get cheddar and onion, or
Sour cream and onion for Americans was similar. This was different, and I would say sour cream and onion tastes better.
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
Wait a second. No. What? Apple pie was the shot that you were supposed to be getting.
Or a beer.
I haven't even tasted it yet. Gina.
Give it to Nicholas. Yes.
Hard tart.
It's in the
freezer, Bob.
Freezer.
So,
Corey.
so the next, this was so long ago now. I'm trying to remember because I know when it came to the top three, we all kind of had a different opinion. So
we did.
I'm just gonna go with this one next. That I think we thought was around third or fourth. I'm sorry, not third, second or third.
That was my second.
Was the prawn cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
So basically a shrimp cocktail in chip form.
Thank you.
But you have to think about it. Shrimp cocktail, I mean, not even just the name. Obviously, in the UK, they call them prawns. And in Australia, they do the same. But as Mike has explained to me, in the UK, their shrimp cocktail is different. It's a different flavor. It's not, that super ketchup-based shrimp cocktail.
They use cocktail sauce.
It's just made differently.
I would say that whatever sauce they use, it's not your average cocktail sauce that you would get here from your local Kroger or whatever. It had a little more flavor as far as the chip was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had the actual sauce that they use, but you tell there's a little more flavor to it than what we're used to here. So prawn cocktail, we said that was. I know we all kind of differed a little bit on our second and third. But the next one.
What was prawn cocktail? Was that your? Do you remember? Was that your third or second
choice?
Yeah.
So I see in his notes he's got 3 of them down. I thought we had 4 flavors.
There was. I missed one in the notes. So there was.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, we had smoky bacon, roast chicken.
That's what it was.
Prawn cocktail and cheese and onion.
I think prawn cocktail is probably number 3. I only put cheese and onion 4th because it tasted like
sour cream and onion or
cheddar
and onion.
Yeah,
I do remember after talking to Bob, while Bob was eating these, he said, "Holy fuck, it tastes like I'm eating a piece of roast chicken."
The roast chicken?
I can't hear you.
The roast chicken, it was amazing.
So
continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, so I think I think this was the biggest part that we differed on. There you go, buddy. Roast chicken was phenomenal. It tasted exactly as if you were eating a rotisserie chicken, kind of like skin and everything that cooked into the chip. I think roast chicken was your number 1, actually, wasn't it?
Yep, that was my number 1.
Well, it was your number 1. Didn't you have it as number 1 as well? No, because we both agreed on number 1.
Hold on. You both, and that's what I want to say before you said this.
It was number 2 if it wasn't number 1.
It was number 2 for Bob, and I started explaining my thoughts on how much I loved the roast chicken and why I loved it. And Bob said, "You know what? I think you're right. And now that I'm thinking about it and I tried it again, I think roast chicken would probably be my number 1 as well."
All right, so it's been 4 weeks since we did this.
Yeah.
So.
I do remember Bob also taking the roast chicken bag, I think.
Yeah.
You're doing what with it?
Certain roast chicken language that most people wouldn't understand.
So this one was probably my number 1 that night.
Yes, I more than agree.
At the first point, it was.
Until Nick maybe reconsider.
Never underestimate the influence of a friend.
Exactly.
So yeah, the last was the smoky bacon. And
or the first was the smoky bacon.
Well, first pick for me and originally for Bob.
So I'm gonna say this on the smoky bacon, and this was my explanation at the night of. To me, no company has been able to nail the flavor of real bacon. You know, maybe it's the chef in me, I don't know, but to me it tasted like Bacos, like artificial bacon flavor.
Not this one, but normal other brands.
No, this did.
Oh, this did?
Yeah, it tasted like
Okay.
imitation bacon, which is good, you know, and it plays the part. And most people, if it even has the flavor of bacon, people are okay with that, especially Americans. But to me, they're big shoes to fill to claim that you taste like bacon. And it just did not hit the nail on the head for me. The roast chicken left a flavor in your mouth like you were eating legitimate roast chicken. It wasn't like, you know, to me, I equate the bacon flavor, anything that's not actual bacon flavor, to someone saying, oh yeah, those lime popsicles taste just like a fresh lime. No, they taste like chemical imitation lime. That's what they taste like.
That kind of hurt. I
Chemicals.
felt a little personal.
No, I mean they taste like they don't taste anything. I mean it's lime flavor, but it doesn't taste like a real lime. You know, so it's tough shoes to fill for bacon. So to me, the roast chicken was spot on. I never had anything like it, so it had that unique aspect to it, and they hit the nail on the head. So that was my number one.
Yeah. So the question that I have here is, where can I get these? Can I find them on eBay? Can I buy them at Trader Joe's? Where can I get them?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
And you don't have to have the answer right now, but what we could do, Corey, is while he's looking that up, we can go into pick of the week.
Okay.
All right. So for pick of the week, we're going to use this to close out the podcast, which we always do. Something that we recommend, whether it's a film, a TV show, restaurant, something that we've tried that we want to recommend to each other and to the listeners. So I am happy to jump in and go first if you'd like, Corey.
Have at it. Before we actually get into pick a week, should we do the shot?
Oh, probably.
And just so you know, you can buy Walker's chips at BritishOnlineSupermarket.com, Tipperary Irish Importer, or BritishEssentials.com.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to check out how much the shipping is. We may have to do a bulk order, guys.
I would be more than
Cheers.
okay with that.
Here's to you. All right. So my pick of the week for this week is they finally did it and actually recorded the Fast Times at Ridgemont High live stream on Facebook. They tried to do it once before. Yes. They tried to do it once before, probably 6 weeks ago, and they ran into technical difficulties, so they never actually did it. And they said they would schedule it for a later date, and they never announced it, but all of a sudden they just did it. And I saw it probably a couple of days ago. So they couldn't actually do the whole thing, but what they did was they recorded like an hour worth of it. And some of it is, it's all for charity, so some part of that hour is like a couple of breaks where they're advertising for the charity. But they did a lot of the, more popular scenes in Fast Times. They did table read. So, Gina, are you familiar with this? Have you seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay. Corey and Nick, have you guys seen it?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Nick, highly recommend it.
This list of movies
Doesn't
is
matter.
so
I know.
long by
I
this
know.
point.
Doesn't matter. So this is a movie written by Cameron Crowe, directed by Amy Heckerling back in 1982. It was a very at the time it was a super popular like coming of age type of movie, a la like Breakfast Club. That was really, really well done and kind of hit the nail on the head as far as what it was like to be a high school student in 1982. So the original movie had there's a ton of big names in it. Sean Penn played the surfer stoner dude Spicoli. Judge Reinhold from Hateful Eight. Jennifer Jason Leigh, who played what was her name? Daisy Domergue.
I would say that's out of my.
I'm gonna call it.
Out of my.
I'm gonna
league
say
there.
it was that's accurate. Oh my God, Eric Stoltz was in it. Anthony Edwards from ER was in it. A ton of different people. Who's Kevin Kline's wife who played Linda?
Calvin Klein?
Kevin Kline, the actor.
The brother.
Oh, Kevin and Calvin.
Oh my God, she's still knockout today. Fuck, I can't remember her name. Phoebe Cates. No, nothing. Gina, Phoebe Cates.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're right.
She was the one who who had the famous scene in the bikini coming out of the pool. So they got together a lot of big name actors. It was Sean Penn, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Matthew McConaughey, Julie Roberts, and Morgan Freeman, and Shia LaBeouf. And,
Yeah, I did.
and Jimmy Kimmel, also hosted by Dane Cook. But they didn't necessarily guarantee that anyone who was in the original production would play their original roles. So Sean Penn did not play Spicoli.
Shia LaBeouf.
They gave it to Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
That seems weird.
I will agree with you. And here's what I'm not going to spoil any of it, but I'm gonna try to create the scene to get your attention. So they start off the live stream with everybody having like a different sort of Brady Bunch square, and they're all sitting at a desk and they're looking at camera. And
Here's a story.
exactly, they kind of kick it off, and everybody sort of introduces themselves, and they go, "Hey, how you doing? Oh, here's Oscar winner Jennifer Aniston or Julie Roberts. Hey, how you doing?" And the whole time where they're introducing people, you can still kind of see the the matrix of like different people sitting in their little squares. And Shia LaBeouf is sitting in the back of a van, shirtless, but he's got some sort of a cloth that he's like wiping the sweat off of his face, and he's literally sitting there sweating his ass off. And before they even started reading the script, he's already lit a joint, and he's puffing away, and just looking as weird as you would expect Shia LaBeouf to be. Now, Shia LaBeouf, if you're not familiar, some would say like he hit it big. He came off of like Disney shows to hit it big in films, going like Spielberg films, and then he kind of plateaued and then petered out by doing weird shit.
Petered out.
Yeah, he got real fucking
Real
weird.
But then in the last couple of years, he did a couple of movies called Honey Boy and Peanut Butter Falcon, where he was fucking amazing.
He's in another new movie. I don't know if it's a Netflix or Hulu, that he plays like some sort of like hit man, mafia man, and
Okay.
of course he's weird. He's just weird.
Of course he's
anyway.
weird, but
Just
he fucking commits. And I will say, having seen those two movies I mentioned, he fucking killed it. And now, because he killed it, they're offering him, like in Marvel's next like Phase 4, they're offering him like the roles of like Moon Knight or Pyro or like some sort of superhero to take over for Downey. So he's experiencing like the Matthew McConaughey like reconnaissance or whatever you'd call it, like a rebirth in movies. So he jumped into this live stream of this table read of Fast Times, completely dedicated to playing Spicoli in a way that, like, Sean Penn is on the live stream, right? He's sitting there on camera and he's watching everybody and he's reading his part. He's doing kind of like bit parts. He's not doing Spicoli. He's doing like this guy who worked with Brad at the fish and chips shop that he worked at, or this guy who went to the high school. But while Shia LaBeouf is on camera, Sean Penn is losing his mind, and he's grinning, he's fucking chuckling, and he's clearly tickled by what Shia LaBeouf is doing with his character. And Shia LaBeouf fucking commits to. It took probably the first like 10 minutes or so, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? This guy has legitimately memorized the script, and he is 100% committed to do some sort of interpretation of Spicoli that is stealing the show from everybody else who's on camera, who's just sitting there like they're at like a day at the office. Like, oh, I'm a teacher and I'm on Zoom now. Like I'm dressed up and I'm.
He was actually making like he was in the scene of the movie.
Everybody else was kind of going through the motions, like, yeah, this is fun, guys. Like we're reading a script, and he's like, I'm gonna go fucking Marlon Brando on this shit. I'm gonna go method. He committed to a level where I'm like, every time I'm like, yeah. Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, just get off the screen. Like, let me see what else he's gonna do. Like, cause he would do a screen and he would just get up. He'd be like, and he'd kind of like he'd walk out of the van and he'd come back in and he'd still be puffing on his joint. And he got so stoned through the entire thing that I'm like, I just want to see what he's going to do next because I have no idea.
You said he was in Peanut Butter Falcon, right?
Yeah.
He actually did like a sequel to that.
There's a sequel to that movie?
There's a sequel.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Peanut Butter Falcon 2?
No, it was Raspberry Jam Hawk.
Yeah, that's
Dad joke of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Came in at 2:12:55 on the mixer. Anyway, if you want to see, this kid is the real deal as far as like 100% commitment to acting. It's something to see, and I was fucking riveted the entire time.
well. When we wrap this up, we'll play it outside because I only saw
It's
clips
like an
of it.
hour. We're not gonna play it outside.
No,
It's
we're
an
not going
hour.
to play it outside.
I'm not saying the entire thing, just to give Gina the idea of what.
If you want to find it, just go onto Facebook and in Facebook do a search for Fast Times live stream. You'll find it. In fact, it's probably on YouTube at some point now. But everybody's buzzing about it. I'm seeing posts about it. And I'm like, holy shit, you need to watch this. So that's my pick.
Just so you guys are aware, update. Walker's chips are available. Some free shipping on Amazon.
Okay, let's talk after the podcast.
Some free shipping, and
Because I will be. I feel like there's a drunk Christmas going to happen tonight, fellas.
I just want
I'm already in my car.
I just want to let you know one of the flavors is beef and onion.
Okay,
Beefy onion.
One of the
I'm sold.
One is a multi-pack of all 4 flavors that you guys got.
I'd take that.
Another one is Worcestershire sauce.
I'm out.
No, I'd try it.
I definitely wouldn't.
Try anything. Free shipping, dude. Come on.
Why not? Why
Worcestershire
wouldn't you
is
try it?
disgusting.
You want mustard? Would you like mustard
I
instead?
will. I will absolutely.
You want me to
try
punch you in the
all those.
face?
Those are harsh
I would say I'm an
words.
Anglophile, dude. I will try whatever.
You very
flavor.
much, yeah.
Whatever
you very
flavor,
much-
I'll try. If I
Try
hate
it.
it, I hate it. But at least I tried it.
You're one of the biggest Anglophiles I know, for sure.
Thanks, man.
Well, we beat the British, so I don't know how great that is. But sorry, Mike.
All right, so that's my pick. Who's up?
I'll go.
All right.
This is
You sound reluctant. I'll go.
because I know
Yes.
I know you guys are probably gonna give me shit for it, but Kensington Metro Parks.
Why would I give you shit of that?
I don't know. I because that's what you guys fucking do. So
I think it's amazing.
You always hurt the ones you love, Corey.
yeah, sure.
Why are you laughing, Gina?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys. Oh,
This is true.
you're so ridiculous.
But anyone that lives in this area and you like to be on the water, you like kayaking, canoeing, swimming, hanging out on the beach. We just took our first trip to the Kensington Metro Park this past couple weeks and got on the lake and the river, which was a
You are welcome.
And the river.
but
We were in the light and the dark.
I was going to say during day and
we
night.
experienced all times of day. But a beautiful place. And what keeps on resonating in my mind
Did you
is
say at night it's a beautiful place?
no, it's a beautiful place.
Okay, good. All right.
So, and what keeps on coming up to me is when we were up north and on the Asabo, Joe kept on saying, "Oh, I wish there was somewhere around, where we lived that we could just go a couple minutes away and kind of experience this." And Kensington Metro Park, the part of the river that we did there, I think that's exactly what he was looking for.
That
And-
he used a way of not being involved. He was able to spin it in his own direction of, because part of the trip we got lost, and another part.
Yeah,
of the
how glad he was that he wasn't there.
Another part of the trip, we underestimated the time because we'd never been there, and it was at night. But all in all, it was a great experience because it let us know what potential that there was in the future.
Oh, definitely. Like we talked about yesterday on the Zoom call that we did. It's only 40 minutes from here.
Solid Zoom call, by the way. Nick and Corey time.
Very good. But it's easy enough to pick up and drive out to on a day off and hang out there. Everything was really clean. Nice area. I can't wait to go back and see the pond you guys drove past.
Oh, man.
Pond.
Well-
Maybe it sounds like it's this, like
Well, that's what I was told.
algae-filled
That-
pond we drove by. That,
I was told it was a pond.
that there was.
Well, actually, Kensington Metro Parks also
Yeah.
refers to it as Spring Mill Pond. So
Well, but
it's a very small lake and a very, very large, clean, sandy beached pond.
So I'm definitely looking forward to going back and
Yeah, you might not be so coy with your language once you see it.
I might not be. We will see.
Danielle and I are vacationing at Spring Mill Pond now. It's a way shorter drive.
No, fuck that. One of the best parts is the drive up to Oscoda.
They allow us to put up tents.
By the way, I looked it up, and the DNR stocks that pond every year with a shit ton of like really good edible fish, like lake trout and brook trout and all kinds of different bass and things like that. So, I mean, to give you an idea of this pond, yeah, you can clearly see across it, but swimming across it might be a little trying. But, you know, it's a man-made pond that is surrounded by white sandy beaches, and it's one of the biggest ponds I've ever seen. And I think at its deepest, it's about 36 feet deep. So
I think that disqualifies it as a pond.
I know, right?
Honestly, I'm
Sounds
saying.
a little
Yeah,
bigger than a pond.
So
All right, strong pick, sir.
I also believe I read somewhere that someone said that they think that it came to existence because it used to be a small quarry and they filled it with water.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
Gina, you got a pick?
I do. So I do listen to other podcasts besides you.
What? Okay.
Dun
I
dun
know.
dun.
Get out.
Walk up the stairs.
I know,
and
I
I'll
know.
come back.
Leave
to
your
it.
headphones
now.
by the door as you
Gotta
walk
go.
out of here.
That was
Don't
the
let
last
the
time Gina was
door
ever on the podcast.
hit you in the
Yes.
ass on the way out,
know.
even though it works in the other direction.
It does. Your door's fucked up.
It really is.
So it's Raiders of the Lost podcast, and the host
Original name.
yeah, it is original.
Boring. No.
Right?
So I do like it because they review movies. So like if it's drama or horror, or I think the last one I watched
So some
was
kind of a movie then.
so any type of movie, and
Okay.
it's just you can watch it on. So I watch it on YouTube because I like to see them talk about it, and they show little blurbs of the movies, and it shows like the director and how the movie came about or the screenplay, and they go deep about the movie, the actors,
So they deep dive.
deep dive into the movie.
Okay.
So if you're looking serial killers, or I think the last one I watched was Good Will Hunting, and how the screenplay came about, and how, you know, Robin Williams was in it, and how it all worked together, and how they like dissect the movies. And I think if you really like movies, I think you would really like that podcast.
What's the name of the podcast again?
Raiders of the Lost podcast.
Are you also a super fan for their podcast?
Have you been on their podcast?
Are they aware that we exist?
Yeah, I do have I'll show you after the podcast a little message from James that he sent me.
Oh, James.
Saying what?
James.
Sounds very pretentious.
So James
Sounds like a bit of a dickbag if I do say so myself.
He is not a dickbag. James and Leo are twins, and they're from Massachusetts.
You
So
say
Twin
Leo-
dick bags.
You say Leor?
Leo.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
like a 4-pack of dick bags, right?
There's no dick bags.
If we want any sort
Well,
of
there's
reciprocity, we should probably back up
Two
the truck
balls
right
in a
now.
dick bag. That's a 4-pack as far as I know if they're twins. Okay, so they're
We're just
aware
kidding,
that
guys.
we
Just so you know,
exist?
Bob, I told them to watch you guys as well tonight, and
I did
they
tell
have now.
I did tell them, hey, I might have a pick of a week, and I think I will talk about your new podcast.
Fantastic.
2 bags of dicks.
Guys,
and,
guys,
thanks,
we cannot
Bob.
wait to check out your podcast.
Yeah.
which
Just kidding,
we will
guys.
do
We'll-
immediately following our own episode of this podcast.
just kidding, guys. We'll go fuck ourselves.
If you hear those beeps, that's Bob's backing up his truck right now.
Beep, 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 beep. Fuck those guys. I'm not watching their podcast.
Right.
Well,
What a bunch of
I love
assholes.
how she said all that at the end of what she said and not at the beginning. That's fine.
I mean, I do think if you guys all watched it and find like, oh, I really like dramas, or I really like serial killers, or whatever, they really
I don't
we
know if
might
anyone really likes a serial
we
killer,
might
Gene.
really have some
They know about
sociopathic
it.
tendencies if we answer yes to that.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Well,
I'm
I
a
do
stu-
like
I'm a
gin and
student
black
of film.
coffee, so
I'm a student of film, Gina.
Yeah,
so
so
I will
I-
be giving them a
Just,
listen.
just
and
go on YouTube and check it out. Or
I will check those dick bags out.
You go check them out.
I'd like to say
honestly, if they did their next episode and they referred to us as dick bags, I'd kind of be a little.
I think it'd be
impressed.
awesome. I think it'd be awesome.
it wouldn't
be
be
okay.
difficult to reference,
No,
but I would just like to speak directly to the Raiders
to the dick bags.
of the Lost podcast,
All right.
specifically James. James, I did not say anything negative about your podcast this whole time.
So when Nick's looking to jump ship, he's going right directly to the Raiders of the Lost podcast.
And
It's not gonna. Okay,
I
so
will-
it's a podcast that specializes in something that he has no interest in.
That is true.
doing. Yeah,
I will give
might
you
as well be a
listen.
sports podcast.
I will
It's
get,
not sports. It's all about
No, but it
movies,
might as well
so-
be.
yeah, but you're
He
He's
has
not
no
interested
interest
in
in
movies?
either. No,
he's the only
none
one
of
that.
those things.
Hold on,
Anytime
hold on.
we bring up
He's
a movie
only
title,
watching movies because we assign them to.
hold
him.
on. He has interest in movies. He just has not seen a lot of them.
No.
When I see them, I enjoy them.
Well,
I feel like that puts you on the outs with their podcast.
Okay, well, maybe I won't listen to it. Maybe James doesn't care.
Maybe
Maybe
you don't
that's
care.
true.
Maybe I want to listen to it.
Perhaps. I think it's a mountain. It's a mountain that needs to be climbed, Gina, and I think that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Bob tells that to all the ladies.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Won't you climb up on this mountain, huh?
He's paraphrasing, but yeah, that's basically the gist.
I'm just saying, maybe check them out.
I
Yeah, no,
absolutely will.
we definitely will.
Absolutely
and,
will.
And if they can't handle the ball busting that goes on in
Oh,
our
there's
podcast,
a lot of ball busting.
okay, yeah, then
A lot of dick bag busting.
maybe they're not
There's
for
a
us.
lot.
But
I mean,
I was gonna say,
A lot
anytime
of bag busting.
anytime the guys at the Raiders of the Lost podcast want to be on a real podcast, they can reach out to you and you can get a hold of
they're
us.
number 11
Wait, yeah, I was
on
gonna
their
say.
podcast,
Odds
so-
are they have more listeners than we do.
Yeah.
Let's be careful. with
number
that
11 on
language.
what?
So if you go on like YouTube or I think it is like Apple Podcasts, I think they're number 11. And the entertainment, it's a certain category that they're in.
Entertainment podcast about like barbecuing or something like that?
No. I just remember
There's a couple of subcategories. I'm sure that
Subcategories.
Because
they're-
I was
So
gonna
it's
say
like
Drew
different-
and Mike are
entertainment / movies /
yeah,
dick bag
whatever.
reviews
Yeah.
/
Yeah.
Drew and Mike.
I don't know the exact, but I
it's
just remember
something like
entertainment.
that.
Drew and Mike
Yeah,
have
they're
like
number 11.
30,000 plus listeners, and then like active, and they are not number 11. On that.
Well, it depends on like what category you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you
what
got to
they're
be
newer
okay.
and whatever.
Prawn cocktail review podcast. I mean, we're probably number 6.
I was gonna say
at least.
we're actually number 1 for Schnozzcast.
That's true. Yeah.
So-
Nose related podcasts.
Yeah,
We top the list.
So
we have to
Every-
make.
every
We have to,
week.
they certainly are probably above us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
maybe just a little bit.
Yeah. Please let them know we're smart asses. And,
Oh, they are too. I mean,
and we're
I
very quick
wouldn't-
to pivot back and apologize and beg them to
I mean,
let
I
us on their
wouldn't
podcast.
watch them if they weren't smart asses. Like,
Go on.
know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I'm
you have
aware.
to be sarcastic. You have to be funny. You have
Yeah.
to be a smart ass.
Gina's like,
Right.
yeah, tell me off again.
Yeah, go ahead.
But now I see why you're, coming in not quite as hot right at the beginning of our podcast because you're super fanning for some other podcast and
You know,
you've extended all of your mental energy in.
So basically, what
Okay.
you're saying is you're a mic,
Podcast.
you're a mic sniffer. That's what
A
you
mic
are.
sniffer, like-
You're a mic sniffer. Is that what happens?
Yeah, whatever, Nicholas.
Solid pick.
All right, Nick, you're closing it out.
No, I don't have one.
All right, well, that was episode 91 for the Schnozzcast. Thank you for tuning in. We were so glad that you joined us instead of listening to the Raiders of the Lost podcast. I'm not sure what you're doing here.
No.
No, you were doing.
Yeah, you're
nope,
sure.
Nope, I
Yeah,
am sure.
Continue,
Just
sir.
gonna
All
put
right.
in the
So
music.
for Schnozzcast, this is Bob saying good night. Thank you for joining us, Nick,
Have a good night, everybody, and we hope to see you next week.
Corey.
good night, everyone. See you on the next one.
Good night, everybody. 5-star review.